We have a great lineup for Saturday University this morning. Three faculty members, all, well, I would say they were all of our excellent top faculty members, except most of our faculty are excellent and top. But these are the ones I've picked to show you, to give you an example of the wonderful kind of faculty instructing the students at the university, and of course moving around the state and talking to our citizens in the state as well. The general pattern of this morning is that we will start with our first talk about 9:15 with Professor Gracie Lawson Borders, and then at 10:30 we'll have Carol Frost speak to us, and then following that at about 11:45 Michael Brosey. I'm sort of going to begin with a couple of opening remarks and introduce a couple of special people, and then at the end of Professor Brosey's talk, we will have a round table, which will be in the room across the way, the Wapiti room, and it'll be accompanied by a free lunch. So if you would like to stay and listen to the three faculty members sort of find connections in the places where we haven't seen connections yet this morning, or ask them questions that you didn't get to ask during their question times, we'd invite you to stay and have lunch and listen to our last final conversation. One of the big supporters of Saturday University has been President Buchanan of the university. When we were first starting this, he was very generous, donated sort of the startup funds and to make this whole thing work 2 years ago. And he has continued to be a generous supporter, and what we would like to, what we haven't been able to do with President Buchanan is to have him actually up here to see what he's been supporting. And so finally, after 5 terms of Saturday University, I've been able to persuade him to come and join us to see what we're doing. And I'd like to ask him to say a few words since he came up. But before we do that, I'd like to say a couple words about President Buchanan. When I came to the university almost 20 years ago, I met Tom Buchanan, who had been a professor, had worked his way up through the ranks, and when I met him, he was just the associate dean of the college, and one of these people that a lowly, just a few years out of graduate school instructor like me didn't spend a lot of time with, but I had a few interactions with them, and they all made a very positive impression on me, largely because he kept saying I had made a positive impression on him. And that was so nice to hear from somebody higher than me in the food chain, so to speak. And in the 20 years since then, Tom has worked his way up through the administration. He has gone step by step, giving his time, his energy to the university and to the state of Wyoming. And I should probably point out that that's quite rare among presidents. Most of them decide they're going to go administrative track, and that becomes what's important, and they hop and skip and jump from colleges to universities, institutions around the United States, and have more loyalty to their career track than to where they've been planted. And Dr. Buchanan has spent his time in Wyoming and at the university, and has really worked to make the university be as open as possible to all the states. So I think of President Buchanan as a Wyoming person, and you can even still see the faculty member in him sometimes. However, the president's job is more than just being a grown-up faculty member, shall we say. And I'd like to introduce a second person here who can talk more about Tom in the other things that he does. I'd like to introduce Vice President Ben Blaylock, who's the Director of Development. you know, the state has been extremely generous to the university over the years, but they're, you know, they're really focused on the primary mission of the university, which is, of course, teaching our students, helping them learn things, bringing into the cutting edge of knowledge of our faculty members. And that's great, but there's a lot of other things that the university does that are outside that core mission, and often it takes a certain amount of money to make those things work. And Ben Blaylock has been a key instrumental player in helping the university obtain the money to do the kinds of things that we can do, like Saturday University and so on. So, Vice President Blaylock, could I have you say a couple words and introduce?
Well, Paul, thank you. And thanks everybody for coming. We were told last night when we had dinner, we said, oh, we're not sure who all's going to show up. It's a beautiful day in Jackson, snow time, but here you are. And we are very proud to be a part of this. I do work with the University of Wyoming Foundation, and Tom and I do work side by side when it comes out and securing some of the funding. Tom more on the state side, and my work more on the private side. But in the end, it is amazing to me what has taken place at the University of Wyoming. I had some nice conversations this morning with several of you. One young man, Nick, who's going to be joining us as a student at the University of Wyoming. Many of you, though, may have not visited our campus. And the campus is, and Tom will address some of those details, but the campus has just been transformed. I don't think you could find another university in the entire United States, when you think in relative size, where hundreds of millions of dollars have gone into our infrastructure. New facilities have been developed. It is an amazing campus. And a couple of conversations I did have this morning talking about the difference between the University of 1975 and the University of 2011. They are not the same place at all. We will celebrate our 125th anniversary in the coming year, and Tom has played a key role in leading us to where we are. There is no doubt in Tom's 6 years being president of the University of Wyoming that he will definitely go down as he continues on as being the greatest building president in the university's history. Nobody can compare, and he's been fortunate with resources, but also fortunate with vision. And we know that in order to connect with Jackson, we need to bring services to you. We need to be relevant to who we are in Laramie. And I do hope, after you hear Tom's comments, if you have not visited us on campus and our outstanding faculty here today, that you'll come to Laramie. Let us know you're coming. Let us show you behind the scenes as what is really happening. You're part of our state, a very important part of our state. We're very proud of our connections with Jackson, and pleased that we can be a part of Saturday University. I'll give you our president, Tom Buchanan.
Thank you, Ben. You have just heard from the only two folks at the University of Wyoming who will be receiving raises this spring. The circles that I hang out in, that's called blowing smoke, is what you've just been subject to. I want to thank you for coming. This is a wonderful turnout, and apologize that it's taken me this long to get up here and enjoy Saturday University. I do get a chance to visit with these folks that you'll be listening to this morning, but I don't get a chance to listen to them talk about the things that their passion, the things they really love, and the things that they teach. There's, I guess it's a little joke. What is the difference between a dog and a faculty member whining outside your office door? Anyone know? If you let the dog in, it stops. So, my relationship with these folks, I'm going to enjoy listening to them talk today. I know they're great faculty, and I'm going to get to see them in the right context this morning. Before I do that, I want to tell you the reason that we're here and the reason that we will continue to be here as long as you want us is that this is a great partnership We've got a number of community groups and people and private individuals and organizations that contribute to making this work. I'm touching somebody's... Okay. But let me recognize, and I don't want to miss anyone, Teton County Library, Teton County Library Foundation, that obviously the Museum of Wildlife Art, the Wyoming Humanities Council, and a fellow by the name of Walter Tulane, who, by all reports, was really the catalyst that pulled these pieces together and got things started. And we are delighted to be here and to have all of you here this morning. And I want to thank Paul Flesher, who was up here at the beginning, not for what he had to say, because I didn't believe any of it, but because he really has sort of taken the reins on this project. He's the person that recruits good faculty, does the organization, makes sure all the ends are tied together, so that you can hopefully enjoy a morning of some pretty smart folks talking about some pretty interesting topics. I'm not going to give you a rundown of all of the things going on at the University of Wyoming. I know better than to even try. There is a lot going on in the southeast corner of the state. There ought to be a lot going on in the northwest corner of the state, and we hope this is a part of the university reaching out around the state. We belong to you, and if we're not serving you and serving your higher educational needs, then we're not getting it right. We'll continue to work on it. But I want to tell you that you're really here to listen to the next three folks, not us. And so I'm going to sit down and hopefully enjoy the morning along with you. Thank you.